Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our twist card pop for pop. I think we have two other twist pop cards in the store. This one's a little different, perfect for a guy. You can totally do it up however you want. We're actually using some plaid and some jeans for a country dad or kind of like a camping dad. But you could easily turn this into slacks with a nice shirt. Possibilities, I hate to sound cliche, are pretty much endless. So let's just pop right in here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our card base, which I have right here. You can see that one side of this has a little tab, and we're going to take and glue this together. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on this tab here, and make sure we get plenty of glue on here. Not too much. You don't want to cake it on and get it all gloppy, just nice and easy. Make sure you get that glue all the way out to the very edge of that tab. And what we're gonna do is take this one. I've got the texture side out on both sides. Just wanna line that up, get it nice and centered, right up to the very edge of the top there. Make sure that the bottom here, you can see that it's rounded. Those two sections should meet perfectly. And just press that down. Make sure you get that really good. There we go. Okay. All right. Take a look at that seam and make sure it's nice and together. We don't have any gaps there. Okay. It's going to open like this, and press down on the inside too, make sure that all of it is making good contact. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, this is going to be the inside of the card, okay? So this will be the face of the card, and we're going to actually construct the face right now. All right, so here we have the outfit. We're going to start with this large piece, okay? And that's going to go right on the front. Should be flush with the top, flush with the rounded corners as well. It's going to go on just like that. We're going to build the shirt along with the pants. And then it's mostly just paper piecing until we get to the little twist pop element inside. But even that is pretty straightforward, especially based on how we engineered it. So we should have no trouble with this at all. And pop that right on there. Make sure that it's nice and centered, flush at the top, flush on the sides, and matching up with the rounded corners on the bottom. There we go. Press that down. Now, this little plaid piece here, I did ink pretty much everything on this project just because it really adds to it, as you'll see. I guess, it's kind of hard to show you the before and after without showing you the before, but you can see how there's a little bit of inking along the edge, okay? So let's do the shirt part first. So we're gonna grab this piece, and that's gonna get glued right here, like so. Okay, we're just kind of layering it. We're gonna keep it flat. We don't wanna add like foam squares to this part, because I think it would just be too much dimension. I suppose you could try it, but I don't recommend it. All right, so we're just gonna match this up with this little cutout. That's where the neck would be. Make sure it's flush with the top, bring it down. And you can see how inking this helps it stand out from the layer, behind it. And that looks nice. Okay. All right, next we have these little collar pieces, which, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Just like this. It's gonna go on like that, nice and flat. Not adding any special dimension to this at all. Could use very little glue for this part. Don't need a lot. And just match it up with this section here. Press that down. And it gives it just enough dimension so that it looks 3D. Okay, let's get this one in place. There's one corner of this that is rounded, and you can use that. That rounded part is down here at the bottom left on this side, on the bottom right on the other side of the collar. Okay, there we go. So the collar is in place. We have a little pocket, and it's hard to tell because of this pattern, but we do have markers here to help you with the positioning of the little pocket. So let's get our glue on there and look for the little markers there. I can see it only because I'm really trying real hard. And just line that up, take a look at it, give it a visual inspection as well. Make sure that it looks good. And then we have another layer that goes right on top to give that a little more dimension even. And of course, probably be adding some pearls or some rhinestones to various parts to represent little buttons and such. Okay, so there's the shirt. I guess you could kind of just do a shirt if you want, but let's give Dad some pants. Okay, so this is going to go right here. This little section should butt up to where the shirt ends, and of course, you want to make sure that, and I'm going to open this up so I can see the bottom better. You want to match that up so it's flush there as well. So let's get this glued down, and this was the closest thing we could find to represent jeans, and I think it works. It's like a, what is it called? I forget. What is it called? Do I have it here? No, I don't. It's like a lace, I guess you'd call it. Okay, even though to me it looks more like a gauze. Okay, so that's going to go right there. Again, just make sure it's flush with the sides, flush with the bottom. That looks good. And we're going to grab this piece, and this piece is going to go right on top. Again, we're just adding some subtle dimension to these sections. I just kind of even though we're overlaying the same pattern, because we added some inking to this, you can see I've inked this entire perimeter. It really helps, separate the two sections. So again, make sure that it's flush on all sides, left, right, bottom, just like that. There we go. Perfect. Good job. Okay. We have a little square that's going to go right here. That is not completely symmetrical. Well, is it? Yeah, it is. It's symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter which way you put it on. I thought for a second it wasn't, but it is. Okay, so that's going to go right there. Just like that. Okay. And then we have these little, these are the little hoops where the belt slides through. I actually have two sets, because when you take the belt off, I still wanted to, be able to see that. So just make sure you grab the right piece for this. Okay, because these are a little bit longer, obviously, so you don't want those. Those are going on the actual belt. This one's going on the actual pants. And it's going to go right there, just like that. Okay. And then we have these little elements that basically represent the pockets. And you want to make sure that you grab the right one. So this one's actually going to go here. Before you glue it down, just check it. The left side's going to be flush with the side, and then up here it's going to butt up against the top of the pant. Okay. Just make sure you grab the right one. If it doesn't seem like it fits properly, you probably have the wrong one. So just grab the other one. And what I would do, just hold it from like one end, bring it down, and use the belt part as your initial guide. And pop it on just like that. Then we'll grab the other one. Go easy on the glue here in case you have to move it around. You don't want a ton of glue on there. Okay, and on this side here, we do have a little marker to help you with the initial positioning. I think we have it on both sides. I might have just missed it. Okay, but there you go. So that's what that's going to look like. Let me take a look here. Yeah, that's pretty much out. There's a little gold circle. That's the button. That's going to go right in the center of that little square that we added. Whoops. Just center that as accurately as you can, just like that. And that's pretty much it for that part. Okay, so we got the whole front of this. Obviously you can add some little buttons here and a button there. And now what we can do That looks cool. Just on its own, that looks really cool. Okay, so now what we can do is let's head to the inside. And what we're going to do is we're going to put down a couple elements before we actually put the twist pop element in there. There's going to be a spot for a gift card up at the top. Okay, and you will notice that we do have some little markers here to help you with the positioning of this, because then this element has some markers that's going to help us actually put the twist pop element in there. So we want to make sure that we get this in the right spot using the little provided markers. So I'm going to glue this one down first. I'm going to actually just put this on my surface because it's kind of wobbly because of these thin little areas here on the side. Okay, just make sure you get some glue on there. And then work that glue around the remaining part of the perimeter. A little bit in there. Grab that, okay? Don't forget, use those little markers there to help you with the placement. And that looks good. I need to nudge this over a little bit. Didn't have it completely centered. There we go. Perfect, okay. Okay, next we have another little pocket here. And it has slits in it so that you can put a gift card in there. Okay, this is going to get glued, centered in this little spot. And you can see here that there's a fold so that you can open and close it, just to get your hand back there if you need a little help getting that gift card out. I'm going to spread that glue all the way out to the very edge of that tab. And again, we're only putting glue on the tab. And we do want this centered. Since the tab is not touching the surface, I can kind of place it down, figure out where I need it, and then I can press down. Here we go. You will notice here, right about there, there's a little indicator so that we know where to put this little circle. Just throw a little glue on that. A single dot should do. Pop that right in place. This pattern paper is perfect for a Home Depot gift card. I don't know what else looks perfect for a Home Depot gift card anyway. Okay, so we got that. If you want to add a little Velcro dot underneath this, you could. I don't really think it is necessary, but anyway. All right, now towards the bottom here, we've got this piece. So not too concerned. I thought maybe there were going to be markers on here, but we don't need markers down there. These little markers here are the only ones we're really going to need when we put our little contraption together as far as the pop element goes. Okay, so let's get our glue on this. I don't think dads are too cool for a heart. They like to be loved, I'm sure. Okay, and this is just going to go right on here. Make sure you get it nice and centered so that we have an even border all the way around. Try to line it up with the top section too so that it's nice and straight. As you can see, I did ink. This is what is this? This is crimson. AC Crimson is this beautiful red. Since red doesn't really show up on red as far as inks go, I took out a purple and that worked nicely. Okay, so we're going to put our little heart in here, and this is a perfect spot to write your little message, or if you want to do a print to cut, or you could even, I put way too much glue on there, you could even do, you could even put a picture in here. Just cut out a picture. So instead of, when you load this up in your cutting software, instead of loading paper, put a picture on your mat and let the machine cut that out. Okay, so aside from the element in there, there's the card. We're going to do the element last so that we can just get our feet wet with everything else. Now, a cool part about this, kudos to Ron for this clever design. The band that keeps it closed is actually a belt, obviously. That makes sense. You'll notice that there are two folds here, just so that this is nice and thick. Okay, so you want to fold it both the score marks on both sides. And then what we're going to do is put a little bit of glue on just this tab here, like so. And I'm going to spread that out nice and thin throughout. Okay, and just connect that, butt it right up to the very edge of that first fold. And I can actually put that down flat now. So it is going to be dimensional on the very edge. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the light's hitting it pretty well. Okay, so there is that. And now we just need to build the actual belt that's going to get glued to this. So let's take this black piece, and on top of the black piece, we're going to glue this piece. Okay. So let's get our glue on this piece, like so. Make sure you get that glue out to the edges here, just like that. That'll work. And just line that up with this black shadow element. Get it nice and centered, like that. Press that down. And then, as I mentioned before, we have these two pieces, which are similar to the ones that are on the actual pants. Get that glued down. Make sure you grab the right one. They're kind of going at an angle slightly at the bottom and top. All right. There we go, and there we go. And then we just have the little belt buckle in the center, and then there's an overlay to make the actual, that pointy part that you pop into the holes. I don't know belt anatomy very well, so pardon my ignorance. Okay, and that is going to go, which way is this going to go? Yeah, it's going to go like this. Just pop that right on there. If you have glue on your fingers and you're using foil, flip it over and press down from the other side so you don't get you know, a little goop on it. And then we've got this little piece here. Just a few little dots. This is foil going on foil, so you gotta be patient and let that dry. So that's what that's going to look like, and then this is going to get glued right onto the actual band structure, like so. And let's get our glue on this entire back, the entire back of this. And of course now my glue is working very well. It was kind of being a pain earlier today. So line that up with the little hoops on the structure. There we go. I'm going to fold that over, or flip it over, press down from the other side. Okay, there you go. That looks nice. We'll let that dry completely. But you can see here, well, it's just an added touch. Don't really need it, but I think it does look really cool. So we pop that on there. There's his belt. There we go. Very cool. The first section is going to be the little "Love You" caption, which is this guy here. So that's going to get glued inside there. These pieces are going to get glued like so. You want to make sure that you have them centered with a nice even border all the way around. So let's get those in place. Okay. Should go together pretty quick. I'm thinking probably maybe 30 minutes to put this card together. That's if you're not inking. If you are inking, probably give yourself about an hour, but where are you going to find a card like this? Okay, so pop this right here, nice and centered on this element. Should have an even border all the way around, and press that down. Okay, so that is for the "Love You" portion here. And obviously we're going to put some glue on this and glue it down right there. Got a lot of little crazy details here. This is kind of just a funky, happy little font. Try to get a little bit of glue on every little section. Don't overdo it. We don't want that spilling out. And then just try to center it as accurately as you can within the space here. And press that down. There we go. Okay. And now we just need to build "Dad." Now, one thing to keep in mind here, there are two D's in the word "dad," but one of them has rounded corners on the right-hand side. We want to put that one on the right. This one that's straight corners is going to go right here. Okay, so let's get that in place first. Get your glue on here. I also embossed this with kind of it's like a workshop looking sort of texture. I think it's something you would see. Where do you see this? Maybe on the floor, like those rubber mats that they use in like you know, mechanic shops. I think that's where I saw it. Anyway, pop that in place. Just make sure that they're aligned properly. Nice and centered. Okay, so there's our D. Okay, maybe a little bit off. That's fine. Okay, let's get our A in place. Very cool card. Definitely going to be a hit. You know, you can make one for your husband. You can make one for your son, if your son is a father. Which, knowing you guys probably raised some good boys that are having beautiful grandkids for you, I'm sure. Okay, let's pop that into place. I'm just using the side of my hand again here, not to blemish the foil. Okay, that looks good so far, and let's get the final D in place. Yeah, that embossing folder really is really cool. It really brings out, well, actually for me also, it helps in the studio when I'm taking photos, because sometimes this gold foil is difficult to photograph, and adding some of the embossing really helps the light hit it from various angles so that you can actually see that it is in fact like a mirrored foil. Okay, so we got that in place. That looks good. Now we just need to put the little letters inside. Now as far as these letters go, the D's are the same, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which D you use for the inside part. Okay, let's get this going here. Get our first D in place. Make sure you get it as centered as possible so that we have an even border all the way around. And press that down. Let's grab our A. And you can see that my inking on this is not perfect by any means. And that's okay, because this is kind of, I mentioned this in the past, sometimes there's certain projects, certain occasions where getting a little crazy with the inking is okay. I think on something like this that's masculine, I think it works great. Okay. All right, and pop that into place. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's the part that's going to be popping out, and that just leaves the actual mechanism now. And let's go ahead and discuss that so I can show you how it works, okay? Here it is. I started to kind of fold it already, and we want the orientation like this so that this little section here is on the bottom, and then this other section is at the top, okay? And we want the folds to fold up like this, okay? And then we can actually, so these here, you're gonna have valley folds, and these two are gonna be mountain folds, and then these two are gonna be valley folds. Because these two sections right here, this one and this one, are actually gonna, those are the ones that are gonna be glued down. Everything else, as we pretend that this is the card here, as we close it, we want these two sections to come in like that. Okay, see what I mean? So let me open it back up. You've got these little extensions here. This one's going to be on the left. This one's going to be on the right. So the one on the left is at the bottom. The one on the right is on top. Okay, and here it's going to fold like a mountain. So it's coming up. It's folding up. Here it's folding down like a valley. And again, as the card closes, it's going to come down flat like that. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if I could explain it any other way. And now, all that's left to do, you can see that on these little sections here, we do have some little markers. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and you can see how it's curved here. That's actually going to get glued to the very bottom corner of this. And that little marker should match up with this fold here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on pretty much this whole thing, right here, like so. And I'm not going to go all the way to those little 2 score marks there. I'll leave that like that. And then what I'm also going to do is on the bottom here, just throw a little bit of glue right here at the bottom and just spread that out to the very edge like that. Okay, so then we'll take this, just match it up. Again, you can see that it's rounded and it's going to match up with the very bottom and back of this section. We can actually flip this over and press down from this side. And we'll just make sure that that's matched up nicely. And when this folds, okay, it's going to fold in and out like that. No, actually, no, it's not. It's going to fold like this. There we go. Okay, so all we have left to do now is take and put glue on this little extension all the way out to the very edge. And you know what? I don't even think it matters if we put glue on this section. I'm not even going to worry about it because this is plenty of glue here. And you just want to match that up like so. Make sure it's flush with the top around that corner. You can press that down now. I'm going to push it down from the other side so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. All right, so now, again, make sure that our folds are correct. And you can see we're going to fold this in, but then it's going to kind of come towards you and down. Okay, if that's not working for you, just loosen up the folds a little bit and it should just kind of naturally just kind of fold in on itself like that. Okay, all right, so now just a matter of getting this thing in here. Okay, so we have this on here. We're folding it to close it up. This should lay down just like this. Okay, so now that we have it folded like this, take a look, and on one of these sides you'll see a G. You want the G facing you. Okay, and what we're going to do, and you can see these 2 markers here, we're going to put glue on this entire little triangle here. We want to make sure we get that glue out to the very edge of all 3 sides. Okay, it's okay if you go a little bit heavier on the glue here as well. And we're going to use the little marker there to glue this down. Okay, so we just put glue on here. The G is facing me, and we want to match that up, that little triangle that we just put glue on. I'm going to match that up with the little marker there, and again, the tip of this should be pretty much right in the center of the card where the 2 sections meet. Okay, I had a little bit of glue that kind of shot off over there, but you're not really going to see that. Okay, just hold that down and just continue to hold it down. And then what we're going to do once we have this in place is we're going to put glue on this triangle, and then we're just going to close it and let that grab a hold on the other half of the card. And then that's pretty much it. It's actually not that bad. I think Diana did some things where we took some of the concepts of this type of card and just made them a little bit easier. Okay, so try to get that glue out to the very edge here if you can. I can do it on this side without blemishing anything. That worked out okay as well. All right, so now I'm just going to take this, try to keep it flat, and literally just close it and press right here. That's where we're applying the glue. Give that a few moments. Okay, don't rush at this point because we really need that glue to set. Okay, so again, the belt, you're going to put that on. And let's take a look. Is that dry yet? There we go. Okay. And I'm going to actually leave this be for a little bit and continue pressing just to make sure that that glue really sets before I keep opening and closing this thing. It may just be a good idea maybe to put a heavy book on this, like right here on this section, since that's where we focus most of the glue. I'm going to put this off to the side because we do have a cute little envelope that we need to put together. And we have a little button, obviously. And we're going to glue the in my case, orange part to the black. And get that nice and centered so that the buttons are in line with these little pieces that are sticking out. Just get it nice and centered like that. And then let's take our red piece, throw a few little dots of glue on that, like so, and get that centered. Here we go. Okay, and that's going to actually get glued. There's a little set of markers there to help you get that nice and centered. You'll notice that there's also some stitching on the envelope. If you want, you can kind of fill that in with a pencil or a very thin marker, whatever you want to do. I think that might look cool. I'm probably going to end up doing that. Not necessary. If you're really fancy, you can have your machine do it for you. Okay, and next we're going to do, I've already pre-folded this obviously, we're going to fold that in and we're going to apply a little bit of glue right along the inside here, like so. And here, whoops. Get that glue off there before the card sticks to it. Then you're going to take this bottom flap, fold it up, press down, like so. And then we have this little element. It's going to make it look nice on the inside, and a little bit of that is poking out as well. So to get that in place, we'll simply take and apply some glue to the top flap here of our envelope. Make sure you get that glue out to the very edge as well. Maybe a little bit on the inside. And then just take this piece and just kind of push it up against where the fold is for the top flap. Make sure it's centered. And then just push down. Bring that down. That's really pretty. Really pretty. I know that's not really a word you'd use to identify or describe a masculine project, but you know what? It's pretty. It really is actually. The blue on this vanilla color looks great. Very sharp. Okay, so that being said, that's done. I think this has had plenty of time, so let's open it up. Love you, Dad. Again, you got slits here for a gift card, sentiment, message, whatever you want to write. And then, of course, don't forget, so that he can keep his pants up, we got the beautiful belt. Pop that on there, slide it all the way up. Okay, hopefully Dad doesn't break the card trying to open it with the belt on. There we go, and perfect little envelope. And there it is. Awesome. I got a feeling you guys are really going to fall in love with this card. I love it. I think it came out great. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the assembly video. It's a pleasure as always hanging out with you guys in the craft room. If you enjoyed the video, please head over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. While you're there, ring that bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free, or if we happen to go live. And if you make this or anything from our new bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, where you can find myself. And oh boy, I'm losing count now. I want to say there's almost 40,000 of us in that group. A lot of inspiration, a lot of great artists. Hope you would join us, so check that out. And yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.